Hi, it's Jane with the Compassion Project, and I am excited because I'm going to play a game of Cool to Connect with Vanessa McWilliams. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hi again.
So every Monday, I'm coming live to play a game of Cool to Connect with someone who's very brave. So today, it's Vanessa. So she is an incredible person. She lives in Calgary, Alberta, with her husband, Greg, and her two boys, Caden and Justin. And Vanessa is an empowerment coach and a self-esteem inspirational speaker. She's passionate about helping women know they are beautiful just as they are. She's also an advocate for alopecia, having lost her hair when she was only 9 years old. So that in itself is an incredible story. Honestly, I have to bring you back on to share that story. So Vanessa she's an incredible woman. I'm blessed to know her, and today she's been brave. So we're playing a game of Cool to Connect. These cards are called the connection cards. I don't know if you can see them. And they were created by Dana Clark. She has a company called Heroic Humans, and it's a deck of 52 cards with thought-provoking questions that really create deeper conversation and connection. So that's why the person's brave that joins me, because we have no idea what questions we have to answer, and I get super nervous.
I'm not scared at all.
You're like, bring it on. So any questions I have already answered, I've put away. So these are the ones left that I've never looked at. So I still have a little stack. So I'm going to shuffle them. And then, yeah, I have no idea what question I'll have to answer. So I'll just quickly give a little shuffle. Excited?
I say I'm not nervous, but then I've got like wicked dry mouth now.
Okay, here we go. Shuffle.
My brain's
and we're gonna do three questions, and we'll both answer them. Okay.
Perfect.
First question. Here we go. I always try to answer it first.
It's not fair you get to read it first.
What is the best decision you have ever made?
Ooh.
Oh, look, some of those were fun. Well, that's good. This is my nervous laugh, I think.
See my big ding of water, I hugged half of it already. I'm nervous. Now I'm nervous.
What is the best decision you ever made? Wow, I think I know mine. Do you know yours?
I have a couple. Does it just have to be one?
Oh, you can do two.
Can I do like 11?
You want me to go first?
You go first.
You want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting question, because I believe, and I'm sure you do too, that our entire life is made up of decisions, and it's our whole life is our choice, because we decide little decisions, big decisions. So, but the best decision, honestly, truly, was to marry my husband. 100%.
Oh, that's awesome. It's not mine. My husband's amazing, but that's not my best decision.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
and if he was here, I would tell him to his face.
It really was my best decision. I was young. I was like 22 years old when we got married, and we dated a year and a half, but I was really broken when I met him. Mm-hmm. And he honestly, I feel like he saved my life. Like, I feel like he came into my life, and I almost feel like he was 5 years older, so he was 25 when we met. Like, he just picked me up and loved me back to health. And he has always protected me and been the most amazing, kindest, loving man in my life's incredible because of that one decision. I mean, so now I'm really curious to know what your answer is.
Not my husband. I love him dearly. He's amazing. I think the best decision I've ever made is 100% to trust myself. 100% to trust myself. That's the best decision I've ever made. And that, I think, encompasses all the other little best decisions I've ever made, including like my children, the whole 9 yards. I think just giving myself a chance the day that I decided to check in, to start my own journey into self-love and letting go of who I thought I needed to be and show up in the world as who I truly am. I think that's the best decision I ever made, was just literally to give myself a chance.
Aw, I love that. So if you think back to that decision, how old were you about?
That was 10 years ago. So I'm 26. I was 26. I don't know how old I am. I'm 36.
Oh, okay. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Give
good.
myself a
Yeah.
chance. 100%.
Trusting yourself.
And I teach that 100%. Yeah. You have to trust yourself. And I teach that to all my coaching clients. And I talk about it very openly when I do my talks and stuff, that you have to really drown out the noise around you, because that's all it is noise. And you really have to listen to what your heart is telling you, because your heart will never steer you in the wrong direction ever when it comes to self-love and self-esteem.
Okay, that's super powerful.
Your heart knows who you are.
Your
it's
heart
just
knows
this
who you
asshole that you have to override. 100%.
Right. So your heart has to override your brain. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
This is conditioned with all the things we've learned, who we are and who we need to be, but your heart knows who you truly are, and you have to listen to that voice to be able to find your way.
So that's like, yeah, and then trusting yourself that you know what's right. Like, when trusting yourself, that would mean your heart, like who you truly are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trust your intuition. Trust that little voice that you hear, that feeling in your gut. You got to trust that 100%. It's never steered me wrong since I've trusted it.
Amazing. Oh, that was a good question. See?
Love it.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Ready?
Yep.
I'll let you read it first.
Oh,
what?
Okay. Okay. No, I was just going to say, you're not allowed to read it first and then laugh. Well, I don't know what it is.
I'll read it out loud right away.
Okay.
Do it together. 1, 2, 3. What is the nicest thing someone has ever said to you or done for you?
Oh.
What is the nicest thing someone has ever said to you or done for you?
Oh no.
I know. It makes you really think, because my mind always goes to my husband, but I also have a lot of incredible friends that I've known for my whole life.
Yeah.
And amazing daughters.
Right? Oh man. One of the nicest things anyone has, it's like, there's like the surface stuff that's like, you're so pretty, or stuff like that, right? But that's like surface stuff. That's not the stuff that floats my boat. I like the deep stuff.
Exactly.
The nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
I like recently, because of starting the Compassion Project, I've met so many people from all over the world now. It's been interesting. And so many people have been so grateful to me, saying to me, thank you so much for giving me this platform to share my story, and saying so many nice things to me that I felt so honored. So it's more like what I've been getting from this, but they don't realize that I'm getting more from talking to them and learning from them than, but I have to think of one specific thing. So can you think of anything?
I can, now that I'm thinking about it. I think the nicest thing someone has ever said to me, and I've heard it a couple different times, is after doing a speaking engagement, there's been a couple people who have come up to me afterwards and have thanked me for being vulnerable and showing my vulnerability. And because I've heard that people have come up to me after and said, thank you for being vulnerable, because it gave me a chance to show my vulnerability too. And I've never felt either safe to be able to do that, or I've never felt like it's possible for me to do that, or to just be who I truly am. So I think that's the nicest thing. The nice thing I can ever hear from somebody is just to know that I'm actually making a difference with my struggle. Because I'm I'm not someone who's like, woohoo, I'm bulletproof. Like, the people who stare at me at the grocery stores, and the people who make comments about me, about, shaving my head or whatever, like strangers say the weirdest things to me. Those things they're still hurt. They still sting. They still hit that little part of me that I think will always struggle. So when I hear somebody say, thank you genuinely for showing up as you truly are, because it gives them space to feel like they can do it too. I think that's what makes, for me, that's the greatest thing I could ever hear, because then I know I'm making a difference. It's not just, you look really pretty without hair. Thanks. That stuff doesn't fly for me. I would rather know I'm making a difference. So that for me is the nicest thing I think anyone's ever said to me.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Because you know what? Okay, do you ever wear your wig ever anymore?
No. Unless
Never.
I do TikTok with my kids, then I'll wear a wig.
Unless what?
Unless I'm doing a TikTok with my kids,
Oh,
like the video things or whatever, I'll
yeah.
pull out my wigs for that. But I only ever wear them now if I'm going to do a specific talk that I do. I wear it on stage, and I usually only do it if the crowd doesn't know who I am. And then halfway through, I take it off. But I haven't done that talk in quite a while. It hasn't been requested, so I haven't worn it in a really long time. 2 years almost.
Wow. Because the thing that's interesting about what you're going through and living with alopecia is that you're around people that never see you all the time. You, like you say, go out in the grocery store, and so it's a constant people looking or making comments, and so you have to be very strong inside, right?
And some days are better than others. Some days I don't care. Like I do genuinely care what people think, but I don't care in the sense of it will hurt my self-esteem or anything like that. Like I care enough to take care of myself properly, like to wear makeup if I want to, or exercise and eat right. Like I care in that way, but I don't care enough that it changes or it will change anything about me. But it does, like, it's funny, I don't notice it as much anymore, like the stares and stuff, but my husband does. And there's been a couple times that he's come out of the grocery store with me and he's like, oh my God, like that lady with the red hair just like was following us around staring at you and you didn't notice? I was like, no, I don't look for it anymore. Like I used to be hyper aware of it because it ruled my life. I cared so deeply what people thought about me, but now I've worked through those limiting beliefs that I had about myself, and I've focused on the good. I don't look for that stuff anymore, so I don't think I see it. Yeah. But yeah, my husband, I've had some doozies, we'll just say that. There's a lot of people out there that I've sent a lot of love to, because
send love to them.
Yeah, they're hurting. Wow. But
you know what? That's so incredible when you can look at that someone says something or whatever, and you're like, they're hurting, they're going through something, it has nothing to do with you. Right?
It never has anything to do with us.
No.
Hurt people, and hurt people.
Hurt people. I know. But and the thing is, I think, is the world is like, you go out in the world, there's a certain image, and you think, and when someone stands out as like, oh, she has no hair, people look, or she's lost her leg. You can't help but. And it's almost like human nature, but it's different than we all look at everyone. But then 100%. You just don't need to like stare extra long, or if you want to know, go ask. How did you lose your hair? Right?
Well, a lot of times, because it's just genuine curiosity, right? They look once and then they're like, oh, she looks different. They look again. And anytime I see that all the time. Most people just go on with their day. It's the people who stare at me that I notice them, and then I like direct eye contact them and I smile. And usually then they're like, oh, she saw me looking at her, and then they're like all flabbergasted, which I kind of think is funny. I'm like, I just smiled at you. You don't have to get up, whatever. But then the people, a lot of times when I do that, though, people are so zoned out. They're not even staring at me. They're just staring in the general direction, right? So like I've just learned to let it go. Like if I see someone genuinely staring at myself instead of the old things that I used to tell myself about, like, oh, they're staring because you're ugly, or oh, they're staring because you're bald and you're different and whatever. Now I just think to myself, man, like they're probably wondering how the hell I got to look like this hot piece of, whatever. And what does that girl have that I don't have? Like, that's what I like to think now. So
yeah,
it works.
Well, and the thing is, people are very involved in themselves. People are worried about themselves. So if we're out thinking they're all looking at us, it's like, But see, that was another good question. That was an interesting conversation. I don't know if I really answered it, but
go ahead.
No, I said that I was getting people saying the only thing that came up was something that I don't know if I can pick the nicest thing someone has ever said to me. But my older sister, Lori, did say to me a couple weeks ago, she said, I have to say, you're so brave. And I've never thought of myself as brave, ever. But I was like, oh, and she goes, with the Compassion Project. She's like, you're so brave. You messaged that guy on the cruise ship on the news, and now you have him on the Compassion Project, or the people I've had on. And I said, yeah, well, people are just people. Or the lady from Kabul, Afghanistan. So I thought, I really took that as a compliment because I hadn't thought of myself like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Totally.
Okay,
That's awesome.
Third question.
Okay.
Here we go.
Fun.
What is the most hurtful thing someone has ever said to you? Whoa.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't want to go here.
We're both like, what is the most hurtful thing? Oh my goodness. That
How much time do you have? I could write a book on this.
We're just okay, a book. So anyone watching right now, Vanessa has written a book, and it should be out, I don't know, it's not right away, but the next year. Perfectly Imperfect.
Yes. It was slated to come out next month. And then I was gently reminded by a couple of humans in my life that I don't do anything average. So I'm not putting it out. I'm not self-publishing it now next month. I'm going to go for the big dream and see if I can get one of the big 5 publishing companies to take it on. So,
wow. That's exciting. So
it's very exciting. We'll say it's exciting. It's scary as hell. But it's very exciting.
Well, I can't wait to read it. Thanks. So I'm struggling with this question because what is the most hurtful thing someone has ever said to you? Because I actually have to say that I've obviously let a lot go, because I know from the past there's been a lot of hurt, because you go through a lot, and then if you do personal growth, and so there's definitely, but I know that it's been a while, or else I'm able to let it go now. Hurtful things used to hang on in my head. Yeah. And I'd play them over and over and over, and now I can just be grateful and know that person, like you say, whoever said it, is a hurt person, hurts people, or so I don't. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask. Can you answer that question, or no? You don't.
Oh, I'm trying to think of like a specific thing.
The most hurtful thing.
Most hurtful thing.
Help! Anyone that's watching, who's watching, you can answer in the comments.
I think the most hurtful thing anybody has ever said to me is, I don't believe you. I think that's the most hurtful things that anybody's ever said to me.
Oh, yeah. Really? Okay, that's interesting.
When it just came to mental health stuff and just like darkness as a teenager and stuff, I think that was probably the hardest thing, was someone not like asking for help and somebody not believing you. I think that would be one of the things.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I had a troll I call her a troll, only because I shouldn't say that. That's mean. I'm a kindness queen. She was a troll. In a department store of all places, I went to get groceries one time a couple of years back, and this lady standing in line asked me what I did so horribly for karma to make my hair fall out. That was a pretty good doozy. And the cashier did what you did. She was like, what?
Wow. Okay, that's neat.
That was one of the first times I ever was caught speechless. I just couldn't even I turned around and was like, don't even know what to say to you other than want to high five you in the face with a chair. I don't know what to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it's hurtful stuff that gets to your core. The hurtful stuff, it's never like if they don't like something about you physically, that's nothing. It's the comments that get to your heart when you know that you're a good person.
Yeah.
And then someone says something, and quite often it does come from our family. It does, like our extended family or people that we know the most can tend to hurt us the most. So I've had a lot over the years, and I've come to learn. And I don't know if I'm going to say a specific thing because I don't know.
Okay.
So from the past, but I feel like looking back on moments when maybe we were together with family and something hurtful came out, or something that I literally was like stabbed in the heart by something, that I can now look back and realize that it had nothing to do with me, and that I had to be able to handle things with family. We all go to our family dinners or family parties or all our extended family, and that's when a lot of things can happen. I now know that I had to work on myself, like you said, and fix my brain from things when I was younger that I believed I was less than. I wasn't good enough. I never felt good enough, smart enough, or important. And I would never blame now on, I was the middle of 3 daughters, and I used to use that as, I was the screwed up one that. But now I have learned, and it's so powerful, that everyone is perfect the way they are. Like every person, they can do and be and say whatever they want. Is how I react the cause of the problems. And the other line is that for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. And I didn't understand that, because I would come back from, say, an issue and be at home crying. This is years ago with my husband, upset about something. And that line, for things to change, you have to change. I remember thinking, I am a nice person. I don't have to change. But what I realized was, I have to become stronger. I need posture. I need to heal my brain. I need to heal that broken girl. Right? And that so that if someone says something unkind, your shoulders are back and you're good, and you're like, oh, I'm good. Like you can say that, and you can say and be and do and act, but it doesn't. I'm good. I know who I am. That's where I've really changed a lot in the last couple of years. And then when you realize that people are free to do and be and say anything, and only how we react that causes the problem. So react with love, forgiveness, move on.
The only thing that gets me through, like if I have to go out and I know that like even if I'm going to go get a coffee with a friend, I know I'm going to get stared at. And you nailed it. Like the only thing I worry about is me. I don't worry. I cannot control how anybody else shows up in this world. I can't control how my kids show up in this world. I can't control how my husband shows up in this world. All I can do is control me. And so I try my best to be kind. I try my best to love on the people who love me. I try my best to be a good human. I try my best to, help other people. But ultimately, I can't do anything for anyone else. It's completely in your control. I can give you the tools. I can be kind to you, I can love you, but I can't control anything that you do in your life. So it goes for the people, family, friends, everything, but it also goes for the people who stare at me in the grocery store. Like, I can't control you staring, so I'm just going to walk away and pick what kind of breakfast cereal I want to buy my kids. Like, let's
and
move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they say the best gift you can give anyone is to love them just exactly as they are. So even if you have trouble with certain friends or family members, or you're having trouble, just love them just as they are. They don't have to change. Just change how you react to it. But yeah, big difference when someone, if someone says something hurtful to me now, I just don't think, I think it would bounce off me like, I'm good. I'm stronger now.
I think for me, it comes to boundaries. It comes down to boundaries and stuff. Like, I just don't have a tolerance for it anymore. If it's coming from a stranger, I'd be like, oh, okay, bye. you don't make up or have any value within my life to begin with. So your opinion of me doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It would be different if it came from someone who's family or friends. But even then, that's where a boundary would be put up. And there's already boundaries around me and what I will and will not tolerate. And if that's a boundary that's crossed, then things will change and it'll be me changing things. Right. So it doesn't happen again. But it's just, you can only focus on yourself, and that's all you can do. And when you give grace to other people, you have to start with yourself. You cannot go out into the world loving on other people if you don't begin with yourself. That's the biggest lesson I've learned, is you got to start at home.
Yeah.
And then it flows out.
Did you know that Wayne Dyer story about the orange, when you squeeze an orange? I think, did we talk about that?
No.
It's so cool. And I'll just tell it really quickly because it's kind of what you're saying. But Wayne Dyer says that when you squeeze an orange juice comes out. Yeah. He goes, you can squeeze an orange as hard as you want. You're not going to get apple juice. You're not going to get cranberry juice. You're only going to get orange juice. And then he says, why? Because that's what's inside.
Yep.
There's only oranges inside. Nothing else will ever come out. And he said, it's the same for human beings. Whatever's inside of you, when you are squeezed, when you go out in the world and someone says something to you that you don't like, someone cuts you off in traffic, someone looks at you the wrong way, when they're squeezing you, what comes out? Does love come out? Does forgiveness come out? Does kindness come out? Or does anger come out? And he said, those people that react in anger have anger in them. And he said, and if you don't have love in you, you don't have love to give. Like he said, and then he says, this is Wayne Dyer, that the most beautiful thing is for humans, we can change it. If we have anger in us, and we can become aware and change it and work on ourselves so that love comes out. And I think it's super powerful. So when you're out in the world and you see something happen and someone reacts really in anger, you're like, okay, they're not happy. Like I almost feel like, okay, they've been squeezed.
Yeah.
And anger came out. So it's like, so I just try to be like, okay, well, they've got love on them and move on.
Well, and when it comes down to it, if you're operating in your life from a place of ego, you're going to be reactive. It just is what it is, because you're living up here, right? You're not living in who you truly are. And even this morning, like having my technical issues with my TV, internet, computer thing, I was on hold for 2 hours and the guy was like, thank you so much for being so kind. I'm like, it is what it is. Like me yelling at you is not going to make us go any faster. Like
exactly.
It just, like you have a decision every single second of your day, every second of your day. I think one thing that grinds my gears is when people say they don't have a choice in whatever. And sometimes you don't, but ultimately somewhere you do. And you have a choice every single second of every single day. Even if you're having the shittiest day of your life, you can change it with the mindset. And I get it's hard. There's days where I want to just like crawl in bed because I'm like, nothing's working. But then I choose mentally to stay in a state of kindness. And that's because for my mental health, but then it overflows into the rest of my life, right? So
exactly. Yeah,
I don't want to stop with 3 questions. I want to do another one. You're making me think.
I know, it's good, right? Oh, well, I'll have you on again. I always tend to do another one, but we should probably sign off. But that was good.
That was good.
Conversation.
That was heavy. in a
Both
good,
you
in
and I
a
are
good
like,
way. Right? Well, to go from like, what's the best thing? And then all of a sudden, like, wow, that was meant to be. The universe had our back on that one. Wow.
That was too easy. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. It was super fun. You're incredible. And I'm excited for your book to come out. But I'd like to have you on again. I think you're amazing. So thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.